Welcome, Cocktail Hour fans. It's me, Andy.
And Rev.
You know, I was going to be kind of cutesy and say, like, it's my buddy, Irreverent Jerry, but, you know.
I think you've done that before.
I have, and then I went and pulled up a whole bunch of words that started with R-E-V or had R-E-V in them. I'm like, oh, man, I just can't get it to flow right. But
oh, no, that's Rel. Oh, never mind. I'm going to drink more now.
But I can be all crazy introducing our author guest. It is The Devil Went Down to Georgia Mears.
That's awesome. I love that.
So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you back because, you know, it's you. Just saying.
It's you guys, though. It's you guys.
And we're always here. It's nothing special.
Well, I wouldn't go there.
No, it's very special.
Well, I do want to take a second, and Andy, you might have been getting ready to do this, but I'm going to do it because, you know,
that's how you roll.
Because that's how I roll.
Okay.
I want to thank all of the folks watching right now. Thanks for taking the time to join us live, and we do have the Q&A option open for you. So if you are ready for that, we're ready too. Be patient. We will take chunks, and we'll get your questions in, and there'll be time for everybody. Okay.
Well, you hope.
Well, we got about an hour.
Hours, I'm just saying.
All right,
so
then.
get your damn questions in.
I wear my fancy shirt.
Oh, you got your fancy shirt? I'm wearing my antagonist shirt. Look.
Oh, that is very apropos, isn't it?
Isn't it awesome? I got it for, I think, my birthday one year. Yeah. I looked at it and went, really? This is me? Okay, I put it on. That's all she wrote. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so enough about this crap. Let's talk about the winners. We have winners to announce.
Oh, okay, there are winners? How awesome is that?
Winners, like winner, chicken dinner. We have winners. Mm-hmm.
Since we're only doing one show a month now, one standard cocktail hour show a month, we have winners for all of the bar rags and cocktail or conversations at the bar. And for the previous episode, oh, Andy, you didn't say what episode number this is. Do you even know?
OMG, I can't believe it. I'll find it. Go ahead and announce it.
I have it. I know what it is.
What is it?
Yes.
This is episode 90.
Woo! Wow, we only have 10 more for our 100th anniversary episode?
Yeah, but since we're only doing one a month, that's still really a long way off.
Well, come on.
All right, so we'll go backwards. The first giveaway we're doing is for episode 89, which was Sandra Moran. She came on to talk to us about Nudge, and she's giving away copies of both print copies of both Nudge and the addendum. So the winner for that is a brand new person who's not won anything before, named Jane. So Jane, congratulations, and I'll get Sandra your info, and she will get in touch with you to arrange delivery. The next one we have is when KG McGregor came on and did a reading from her new book, Anyone But You, and the winner of the signed copy of that goes to CW. So congratulations.
Wow, yay.
And let's see, Queerly Beloved by Diane and Jacob Anderson Minshall, who were a blast to have on.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Callahan, who I believe made many mentions of vagina in the comments. So good job. That was awesome. And then the last one, Jesus. So the last one was Emma Wyman, who came on to talk about her debut novel, Heart Surrender. And she was so excited that she is giving away loads of stuff. So we've got a mug going to Cindy G. We've got ebooks going to Gooch and Lisa T. And we've got signed paperbacks going to Mags Dixon and CW. So CW, you're a two-time winner today.
Awesome.
So I will get with all of the authors, and they will get with you, to get you your stuff. So if you don't hear from anybody in 2 weeks, send me an email and let me know, because I've forgotten. And it's info@cocktailhour.us, because it happens all the time. Oh, I do want to say one more thing before we get going. Thank you to everybody who submitted for the Bearded Clam Challenge. Thank you. We'll have the compiled ebook and all the winners ready for you. Like the middle of September, so you'll hear about it on the October Cocktail Hour. So, yay! Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. And thank you to the listeners and for participating, and to the winners.
Yay! And my dogs who are barking in the background. Oh, yay!
It adds an ambiance to the show, really.
Yeah, they're going to kill each other. Yay! Okay. All right, I'm done.
Are you sure?
I'm positive I am done.
So what she said. Okay, so we didn't have Georgia Beers on just for stunning good looks. No.
God, I hope not. You guys are desperate.
I think those are two separate issues. Those are two totally separate issues.
She not only looks great, but she writes even better. So she's here to discuss whatever the listeners would like to discuss, and talk about I just went blank out. White bread and olive oil. Sorry.
That was really close. That's still wrong, but it's really close.
It's almost right, but not quite.
It's olive oil and white bread, but you were really close.
Sorry, olive oil. I really wish this was a tape show, because I could have pulled that all out. Damn it. All right. It's olive oil and white bread.
Yes, it is.
Fofos. All right, so we'll pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, so Georgia.
Yes.
Can you give us a summary of the book, please?
Olive oil and white bread is kind of, it's a romance, but it starts with happily ever after, which is where most of the romances end. So I basically follow the same couple for 23 years. And we go through everything that they go through. I mean, a traditional romance gets to happily ever after, and that's the end, and go imagine what happens. But there's so much more that happens after that. There's so much more that happens throughout our lives together. So I wanted to touch on that a little bit. So I take the same couple, we meet them, they fall in love at the beginning of the book, and then 23 years go by, and they deal with everything that couples deal with, that long-term couples deal with. Deaths and loss and bumps and happiness and sadness and screwy stuff and celebrations, and it's quite a ride, I think.
Right.
I agree. It was quite a ride.
It was a ride.
Adrienne Blagg is being a smartass, and she says white oil and white oil and olive bread. I don't know. We can come up with something. Yeah, just keep going. Keep going, Adrienne. That's awesome.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh my God. I got to say, when I first started reading this book, I had no idea that it was going to span such a very, very long time. And I had to chuckle by the end of it. I said, my relationships don't last 23 months, much less 23 years. And at the very end, I was really happy. But I got to say, I'm still happy that I'm single. I'm just throwing that out there. Because I'm thinking, wow, that was a lot to go through.
There's a lot. It's true. It's worth it. But there's a lot.
So is this, some of these situations that happen in the story, do they kind of mimic things that have happened in your life, in your relationship?
I think it's hard to not mimic a little bit of it. I mean, I've been with Bonnie for 20 years. So, and I don't think that I would have attempted to write something like this if I hadn't had a long-term relationship, because I think there is stuff that you just don't know until you experience it. There are a few things. Yeah, there are ups and downs and things that aren't exact, but maybe touch a little closely on stuff that we've been through in our life. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who say, "Oh my God, this is exactly my life with my partner. We've gone through all of this stuff." I've gotten a lot of that right now. It's been interesting to me. Yeah, I was really nervous about releasing this one. I was really nervous.
When I was reading it, I had a lot of that too. I think when you get together at a very young age, you have being so young yourself, you have a lot of personal growth to deal with as an individual, and then trying to grow, then your partner is also growing as an individual, and you're still trying to grow as a couple together, that those things usually don't really mesh very well. So, you really have to learn how to compromise and figure out what's important and if it's worth the battle.
Right. Exactly.
But one thing that while I was reading it, I was wondering, and I don't know if you've gotten any feedback, but I would imagine that that somebody who has never been in a really long-term relationship, or a particularly young person who maybe has not experienced something like that, if they would be able to connect as well to the characters in this story as somebody who's older and who has gone through a lot of that. Have you gotten any feedback about that?
I haven't gotten much from people who didn't say, "Oh my God, this is my life." I've gotten mostly that. I'm hoping that people who have not had a long-term relationship, that this follows closely enough where they can kind of get in on the ground floor and get invested in these characters before all of that stuff happens. So I don't know. It's still fairly new, so I'm still getting feedback. It's only been out for a month and a half, 2 months. But I mean, it comes in every day, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I did like the way that you mark the milestones using songs and relating that as somebody who's a bit older, and I know Andy, I'm sure that you stopped and had some earworms at a few points.
Yeah, how are we going to get to that? But you popped it first. Jim. some of those songs were stuck with me for hours.
You're welcome.
How long did it take you to come up with that to mark your milestones?
How long did it take to come up with each song?
Well, I mean, just did you have that concept when you started? Okay, and then did you have so I imagine you had some of the songs then, and then just had to kind of search for some of the others?
Exactly. I had a couple, and there were a few that I wanted to use that didn't work out in the years that I had chapters, and I was bummed. But yeah, I decided from the beginning that that's how I was going to do it. I liked to kind of mark it that way. Plus, I think it helps with the passage of time. I mean, music is very connected to the time. I mean, I have songs that I remember that take me to high school or to college or to whatever, so I think that songs are good. Music is good with that. So I would get to the year that I was going to write, and then if I didn't already have something, I would go to Google. I would Google Billboard's top 100 songs of that year, and I would scan them until I found something that A, I liked, B, I knew, and C, fit what was going to happen in that upcoming chapter. And it got a little difficult a couple times, but I think it worked out.
I think there was only one song that I didn't recognize the name of. I don't have it handy now, so I can't tell you which one it was, but I can't remember what it was. But I think there was just the one that I was like, it made me actually question, are these all song titles? Or am I just making this up? But yeah.
Well, so it's interesting because I went to high school in the 80s, I graduated in the 80s, and then I went to college, and so the 80s music is really, really important to me, and it ticks all kinds of boxes and buttons for me. But when I get into the mid to late 90s, music kind of went away for me for a while, so I'm looking at songs and I'm like, I don't know any of these songs. Oh my God, how am I going to pick one? I don't know what these are.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yep, absolutely. I can relate. So, what inspired you to write this type of a book? Because I can't recall any other author tackling well, I'm sure there are, but nothing comes to mind of an author that tackles a long-term relationship.
I can't. Not in this way,
no.
Where they stay together and work through their issues. No, I couldn't. I was trying to think of one. I couldn't think of any.
Yeah, me either.
Well, that was part of the reason, is that I couldn't think of someone who had done that, at least not recently. And maybe somebody has. I mean, obviously I don't know every book that's out there. But that was something that I thought would be very different. And because I write romance, I'm always looking for something that's a little bit different because they can get so similar.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, I have gotten a lot of email over the years from people who have, loved my writing and talked about how wonderful this book or that book was, but when was I going to write something about a long-term couple? When are you going to write a romance about a long-term couple? And I would file that away, and I would file that away, and yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, maybe. And the requests just kept coming. And so finally, I sat down and thought, all right, let me examine this. Let me see if there's a way to do this. And I sat down with Bonnie, and we talked it out, and this is what happened. I think that it was something that people wanted, which surprised me.
I'm happy that you did it because I mean, part of the joy of lesbian fiction is being able to see yourself reflected in the stories, and then for folks who have been together for a long time and are still in love and still who have fought the battles and still are deeply in love with each other. You just don't really see that. So it was another level of representation. I really like that. I have a question from B. Wells. What am I drinking, or what are you drinking? I'm drinking pink grapefruit juice and vodka.
I have my usual Captain Diet Coke because I was out to dinner with friends a little while ago and I had a blackberry mojito, so I figured I'd better stay with the rum or there would be problems. So I was going to have wine, but I decided, well, you know what? Probably the rum would be a better idea.
So you're drinking a Skinny Pirate?
I am drinking a Skinny Pirate.
All right. I'm just drinking flavored water, and the flavor is, what is this thing? I don't think it came.
Looks like lemon.
No, it's not. It's something that I don't know. It's.
Hey, Grandma, why don't you take your glasses off? Take a look there.
Hey.
Your arms aren't quite long enough.
It's a flavored sparkling water. There we go. We're leaving it at that. I can't even get the title of the damn book right, and I read the thing. Jesus, I think I even posted on Facebook the wrong way.
Did you? You suck.
Well, I have dyslexia, so I'm going to blame it on that.
That's the first I'm hearing of that. I think you're making that up.
I'm working that today, sister.
All right. You've been struck with temporary dyslexia. I've heard that's a thing. I don't know.
Okay, so, all right. I think that's all I have for right this second. All right, Sherry, it's your turn to jump in. Come on.
I've been jumping in. Let me see. I could really relate to and fuck. Their names are completely.
The names, right?
Angie and Jillian.
Jillian.
And Angie.
And Angie. I really related to Angie a lot. The first, like 15 years of our relationship, my wife is a severe workaholic who everything she does, she wants to do it better than everybody else, and she excels at anything she tries, and she just works constantly. I'm not that kind of person. I'm more of a homebody, and I remember there were many, many times when I would be sitting at home, and I know that she's dodging my phone calls while she's in a bar with her coworkers, thinking, and she would just say, I don't know why you wouldn't just pick up the phone and say, I'm here, whatever. And her reply was always, well, I knew you were going to be pissed at me, so I just figured I'd wait until tomorrow, and then you could be really pissed at me. Like, that doesn't really make any sense, but she's better now. She's trained now, and I'm also not the type of person now that's just going to stand there and go, I'm going to wait for you.
Right.
Screw you. That doesn't fly anymore. But as a younger person, overcome by insecurities and all of those things, I really saw a lot of both of us in the book, and it was interesting. I enjoyed it very much.
Good, I'm glad. I was really nervous about this book because it touches on stuff that a lot of us don't want to talk about. It's not all puppies and rainbows.
I was actually very surprised at the direction you took. Mm-hmm. Partly because, and I know that this is probably, it's not right, but because of the size of the community, the lesbian community, particularly the community on Facebook and things like that, where everybody's always in everybody else's business and making assumptions about everybody, it had to have crossed your mind that people were going to say, well, this is Georgia and Bonnie's story, and so that had to be risky for you to put that out there, regardless of what it is, because people are going to make those assumptions about you because they feel that they have that right.
Yep, I thought about that too. And I mean, there's honestly, when it comes down to it, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, they're going to think what they're going to think, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, the people who know me know me. I didn't want. It's interesting. I didn't want to go in that direction all the way. I was kind of skirting, and my editor was like, "Oh no, you have to go all the way." And I was like, oh. And I was angry, but that's good because I wanted. I'm trying really hard not to spoil things.
Yeah.
But, the editor ended up being right because it's a better book because it went in a certain direction.
I was really pissed at because it went as far as it did, and because it continued. And I can't. I mean, like you said, I can't really say a lot, but I didn't fully expect. I didn't expect you really to go that far. But like you said, I think your editor was right because it probably was more realistic, and it really. I think you did a really good job of showing the conflict that both of the characters dealt with on a regular basis.
That was hard. I didn't
bet.
want one to be the bad guy and one to be the good guy. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
When you're together for 20 years, somebody's the bad guy and somebody's the good guy, and you switch places all the time. That's how it happens. I mean, when there's trouble, it's not always one person's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's one person's fault, it's caused by the other person anyway. I mean, there's just so many intricacies and complications, and so I tried really hard to keep that balance so that readers wouldn't go, oh, I hated her. You know what I mean? I wanted people to go, yeah, I don't like what happened, but I get it. I understand why. It was hard. It was hard.
And there was some. I don't know if there was intentional misdirection, but there were a few times when I thought things were going to go in a certain direction, but then they didn't, and then it kind of went in another direction. So it was kind of nice because I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this is what's going to happen, but then that's not what happened.
Good.
So yeah, that was good. And then Adrian is back. Oh, by the way, she called us lushes, and but she's drinking moonshine.
That's because I was going to say.
Can I just step in here and say pot, kettle, black?
I was going to say the same thing.
Right? I mean, come on, for God's sake.
I need to find a clip of that scene from Friends where Phoebe picks up the fake phone and goes, "Hello, Pot, this is the kettle. You're black."
It was awesome, right? Oh, God.
All right. Well, she has a question. It's has anyone commented on the idea that Angie got off really easy in the end? I feel like Jillian was suddenly the bad guy, which pissed me off a bit, considering what Angie put her through, and their lack of communication didn't help. But it's a romance book, so there's got to be lack of communication. But to be fair, the lack of communication in this book. And maybe it's because I suffered from the same inability to communicate in this way that it really rang much more true to me than in a lot of lesbian romances where people just don't want to talk to each other because I don't know why. Yeah. So I'm sorry. So yeah. So go ahead, Georgia. Do you want me to reread that?
No. It's okay. I actually have had a few people say, "Oh my God, I was so pissed." I was actually surprised that people said what you said. They were mad at Angie. And I expected it to be the other way around. So I've been kind of pleasantly surprised that it went in that direction. Like I said earlier, I tried really hard not to make it easy to blame one person or the other. But I've had people blaming both. It's been interesting. It's been a pretty even split, which surprises me.
I blame Angie 100%. It's all her fault. From the first page to the last page.
I wouldn't say it's 100% her fault, but I blame Angie.
Well, I have to tell you, let me give you a little tidbit of information. That job that Angie has, I had that job for 18 years. So everything that she went through, it's so unforgiving. And I am so not a salesperson. It is like the worst job for me on the planet, but I did it for almost 20 years. And you can make really good money, but it's exhausting. And selling that particular item, which is ad specialties, there's no plateau. A lot of times a salesperson works really hard to build their clientele, and then they get to plateau and sit back and relax. And that doesn't happen in this particular job. So I wrote her specifically so that I would understand. I don't know, I'm trying to say this and it's not coming out right, but I didn't make up what she went through as far as what her job took from her. That was absolutely 100% my experience. I didn't get into it as badly as she did, but I know people who never saw their families and worked their asses off and made a ton of money, but never saw their families. Mm-hmm. So,
and I could tell that it felt very, very genuine, and I think that's why I had the reaction that I had, comparing it, with what I had gone through, because the things, and I actually was talking to TJ about it the other day. I was like, I'm reading this, and it could have been in so many places you and me right there, and she's like, yeah, I did have a problem with working too much. Yeah. But you can just like Angie justified it. I'm doing this for the family. I'm not doing this because I'm enjoying all of this. I'm doing it because it really rang true. I thought it, and to kind of maybe go away specifically from this book, but to your writing in general over the last year or so, with the Balance series and this one and even 96 Hours, which I know was a while ago now, but I think for me, I feel like the direction of your writing has changed, and personally, I'm really thankful for that, because I don't think that there's enough of the more dark side, the more serious side, the more realistic side of lesfic, particularly of lesbian romance. Not that Balance fits into that.
Right.
But it's wonderful to have more options rather than just girl gets girl, girl loses girl, girl gets girl back. What do you have coming up? I mean, is there more Balance stuff? Another novel? What's going on?
I'm working on another novel, but I'm going to continue Balance. I've really gotten great feedback on Balance, and I enjoy writing it. I've never written suspense before, and I've never written a series before, so that stuff is new for me. But I really like the characters, and I every now and then I come up with like, oh, and then she can do this, or oh, and here's so I'm trying to do it in episodes, because I see it like a TV series. So there's definitely more Balance coming. The next novel is another romance, and I don't have a whole lot of that right now. I'm not real comfortable talking about it yet, but I'm hoping that that'll be out sometime early next year.
Who are you going to publish that with? Because you're all over the place.
I am all over the place. It's hard. I don't know.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I'm enjoying Balance, so when can we get a new Balance?
I'm glad. That I have the next idea. I have to write it, so hopefully within the next 3 or 4 months.
Cool. Excellent. I've really enjoyed I really liked the first one a lot.
Yeah.
And the second one, even though it was a little more tame.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I really like the direction that you're going with and the foundation that you're laying for future stories. It's very nice. I wish more people would do something like that again. It's very nice.
It's fun. It's been fun to write. I was surprised.
And the feedback has been good, right?
Yes, very good. Very good.
Excellent.
That's what I tend to read. I read romance, and I always intend to read more romance, but then I get sucked over to suspense and thrillers and stuff like that, and I keep thinking, I want to write this. I want to write this. But it's not easy. It's not easy. So
you're doing a good job.
What's point of me sticking my toe in the water and seeing what happens?
Yeah, I remember on one of the earlier shows that you were on, you were just talking about how you wanted to. I think we were talking about slices of life. I think we were talking about, and you were just talking about wanting to do this. And Andy and I were both very excited about it, and Andy, have you? I don't want to put. Well, I do want to put you on the spot. Did you read the balance?
Always put me on the spot.
But this time usually I say I don't want to put you on the spot, and then I do. So this time I didn't say that. Andy, I'm putting you on the spot. Did you read Balance?
No.
No, you suck. Okay, we've got a question.
Yeah, thanks, ass.
We've got a
I haven't
question.
gotten to it. It's on my list.
They're short. They're super short.
Yeah,
they're super short. You can read them in just like a couple of hours. Well, like an hour or two. I think they're like 50 pages long on the Kindle. So, yeah.
It won't tax your brain too much, Andy. Won't tax your brain.
No. I think you'll like it. Okay, so we got a couple questions here. Cheryl Hansen. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome.
Hi, Cheryl.
Cheryl says, I'm hooked on Balance. You can't write enough. More, please.
I'm on it. I promise. I will not drop it. I will definitely write more. I'm working on it. I have the next episode in my head. I just have to map it out a little bit. Promise.
All right, and then Adrienne asks, I'm afraid to answer and put up any of Adrienne's questions. She says, any more Working Girls?
Oh, that's another. I know. That's yes. In my head. Does that count? Yes, there are more Working Girls. That's another one that those I can whip off really quickly. I have so much going on, and I'm a terrible time manager. And I've been trying to talk to a couple of my author friends to help me do a better job at managing my day because I get distracted by things like laundry and grocery shopping and crap like that. So yes, there will be more Working Girls. I promise.
What is this Working Girls? What have I missed?
It's on Amazon. It's just another little online short story series.
You need to publicize these things better because
I'm terrible at crap. I really am.
I don't recall ever seeing. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and look.
Balance. It's right with Balance. It's in the same place.
Damn it.
I know. Right. I'm not good either, but then again,
not quite erotica. It's like a cute little sexy short story.
So it's not like the pool one or the hot tub.
No.
That was awesome. You look at your own red now. It's awesome. Oh my gosh, Sherry, you got a sunburn? What the hell happened?
Oh Lord.
That's good. That's good stuff. That is.
Thank you.
I'm really glad this is a live show. Seriously. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
that was a different kind of story.
Not out of the realm of possibility for a reading. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. No.
We'd have to do that one like pay-per-view or something. I don't know.
And somebody else reading it.
Come on,
or Georgia, like behind a screen or something where you can like change your shirt.
I'll have a paper bag over my head.
Yeah. We'll have her sitting on a stool with a screen and backlit, so you can see her shadow or silhouette as she's reading.
Yeah, there you go.
And, because she's Italian, she'll be using her hands a lot.
Yeah.
They would be going more like this, I think. Rachel Spangler is agreeing that you don't publicize enough.
Right. So, I know. She tells me all the time. She's right. She's right.
But I mean, there are so many folks that you can't follow their Facebook feed without being constantly bombarded or them leaving comments, constantly pumping their own stuff.
Right.
And then you're at the complete opposite end where you're publishing stuff and nobody has any idea. I put out 3 books in the last 3 months.
I was raised to not toot my own horn. That's how I am. I just feel weird when I'm like, hey, buy my stuff, hey, But,
are you at least keeping your website up to date?
Yes. Okay. I've been getting much better at that.
All right.
Yeah. So you can always have like one day's your sales day on Facebook, like
idea.
Friday afternoon or Friday evening or something, one day where you plug some of your stuff. Not every day.
Down, Andy. I'm writing that down.
That really is a very good idea.
Yeah.
Other authors on Facebook, take that note.
Yes.
There you go. Not every damn day, thanks, but, one day a week is a good idea. And encourage your readers to, share the links.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hurt.
Yep.
I can't see you doing that.
I know.
You know what? Never say never. Never say never. I have learned that lesson. And I just might have to send
I nod and smile.
There you go. All right, Adrian says toot, damn it. And Nancy Jean.
He means advertise, not fart, just so you know.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
The whole toot thing, I'm just wanted to clear that up. Okay, go ahead.
All right, then. Nancy Jean called you a stealth publisher.
Oh.
And then she...
Is that a bad
And she also says...
on the radar, right?
There you go. But that's not a good thing for selling books.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah. Nancy Jean also says, and yet we spend a significant matter of time discussing exact perspective used in the hot tub story, second person. That's right. We did talk about that when we talked about
second person.
That's right. Because people I worked with had theories about the fantasy thing. That's right. Good rememory, Nancy Jean. Very good. So. Let's see. So we've got about 20 minutes left.
Okay.
Georgia is going to be doing 2 giveaways, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I forgot to ask this before, so
Go ahead.
nobody listen right now. Shh. This is. Are we doing paperbacks or ebooks?
Either one is okay.
Okay. All right. So we're back. Georgia said that. We're going to do 2 giveaways, one live, and then we'll do one on the website for folks to comment on. Andy, can you stealthily look to see when our next episode is recording?
Stealthily?
Yeah. Oh, well, you make so much noise. It's impossible to be stealth.
I can't be stealth. You can't do stealth. But I will look it up while we're doing this, yes.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note of everybody who comments today during our little doodah here, and then at the end of the show, toward the end of the show, we will we'll pick somebody, and you'll get a copy, ebook or print, and then you can also leave a message on the comment on the website, and then we'll have the winner picked on our next show, which I don't remember the date, but I do know it's Lynn Ames. So,
I'm working on it. Give me a second.
God, you're so slow. I could have already done it.
Freaking Google. It's August 9th.
What?
August 9th.
August 9th. Okay, so everybody needs to have their comments in. I know this is really early, but I have to write it down by August 8th. Okay? And then we'll come up with a question, because that's what we do. That's what we do here. We ask questions. We make answers.
All right, but we have to play the game. We can't just close down. We got to play the game.
I don't want to play the game. I'm uncomfortable playing the game with these 2 characters.
All right, no game.
Fine. I don't know, Georgia, do you want to play the game? I bet you're uncomfortable playing the game, too. Well, you have to pick Jillian. I mean, it's not like you could pick... Well, you could.
I could, but that would be weird. I could. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be the first, so...
That's true. Right, Spangler? You're listening, right?
Yeah. All right, well, anyway, we've still got plenty of time before that. So, what was the toughest thing about writing this? Did we already talk about that?
No. I would say that the toughest thing about writing this particular book was choosing what to focus on and what to kind of gloss over. And if I go back and read it now, I would wish that I wrote more, that it was a little longer, but honestly, it was so hard to choose what to focus on and what to go, all right, I don't really need to touch on that. When you skip years, it's hard not to go, P.S., here's all the stuff that happened in the years we skipped. So that was it was a little daunting, and it made it hard to write, like it made me not want to write. This book took me a long time, because there were days when I was like, ugh, I just don't want to. I think that was the hardest part, was trying to decide what to gloss over and what to focus on hard.
I think I can imagine that it would be hard because, thinking back over all of the years in a relationship that long, there are lots of years I don't remember anything happening.
Exactly.
You go to work, you come home, you do your laundry, you pay your bills, you go to work, you come home. I mean, there's lots of time that absolutely nothing happens. There are loads of years I don't have any recollection of.
Yeah.
So I imagine that would be really difficult.
It was.
All right, well, we've got, let me see. Oh, Rachel says, LOL, I knew that was coming for me. Well,
You knew.
there's a coming joke in there somewhere, but I've had too much vodka, so we're not going to do that. All right, so we have another question here. So GB, when are your amazing books going to reach Portuguese language? P.S. I still can't believe I'm watching you online.
I have no freaking idea.
How does that work? Do you have any control over any of that, or do they go to your publisher? How does that work?
I don't have a lot of control over the stuff that's done through regular publishers, the Bywater stuff and the Bold Stroke stuff, and I get around the block, so I'm a little bit of everywhere. That's generally the publisher's deal. I did set something up a while back with some Spanish, a Spanish press to do some of the brisk stuff, but the sales are pretty small, so it wasn't that big a deal. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they come to me. I don't know if I should be seeking them out. I have no idea. I kind of leave the publisher stuff to them. They take care of that. It's kind of the same thing with the audiobooks. Audible.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah. Yeah, Audible comes to them. I did starting from scratch because Dog Ear Audio asked me to, and that was mine. But I know that Audible comes to the publishers and says, we'd like this book and this book and this book, and then they take care of that. So
I saw that Bold Strokes had posted, because I really try to follow the audiobooks because I enjoy them so much.
Yep.
And Bold Strokes books, like I think all the Radcliffe books are pretty much, at least the more recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that they're putting out more and more audiobooks. I would love to see every publisher putting out audiobooks. I know that it can be expensive, but again, I don't know how that works. If Audible covers, I have no idea. But I would really like to see more of that. That would be awesome.
I think it's something that's starting to come to fruition a little bit. It's been kind of in the background for a long time, and now it's just starting to bubble up a little bit. So I think we'll see more and more as time goes on.
I think it's getting more popular. That's for sure. I think there's getting a lot more exposure in Lesfic to the fact that audiobooks are available. I think Bookgeek just set up a new group on Facebook dealing specifically with LGBTQ. I think they're specifically looking at lesbian-based audiobooks, but I was shocked by the number that were there. And I scour Audible regularly, but they're not. You can't find them very easily. Their search functionality is really crappy. All right then. Sorry about that. And Danny Mac says, I was wondering if you have any plans for more audiobooks. So
talk about timing.
See above.
Yes. And DK Linda, hello. Says, I'm staring at the book title, and for some reason the question I want an answer to is, what's your favorite sandwich?
Wow, that would depend on my mood. Always a peanut butter and jelly girl. Can't go wrong with peanut butter and jelly. Anything with cheese. Grilled cheese. Grilled cheese is a good one.
Excellent. I really like that question. I think we should use that for the book giveaway.
What's your favorite? Why not? I think it's a good question.
Excellent. And then Rachel, ever the promoter, wants to know, where else can readers find you in the next few months?
I will be in Provincetown in October. And I'm doing Women Stirred Radio. I'm doing a radio interview this coming Thursday. I will have details on that when I get them.
Will you share them?
Absolutely, because I will be spanked by people if I don't at this point. So I think that's all I have on my schedule at this point in time, but I try to keep the website up pretty. I've got an appearances page, and I try to keep that pretty up to date.
Excellent. Okay, so everybody, and it's georgiabeers.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll have links. We'll have links on the website. So we don't have them there right now because I just threw together a post so I could embed the video so that you could watch it if you wanted to.
Awesome.
Okay. And then we have Nancy Jean. When people new to Lesvik ask me for recommendations of books to try, your name is always included in the author list. Thank you for so many wonderful reading hours.
Your check is in the mail, Nancy Jean.
I'm sure she would just prefer books.
That's what
Your books are in the mail, Nancy Jean.
Awesome. Okay, you guys have to talk. I think somebody left a comment on the website, so I'm gonna go look at that. All right.
Georgia, are you gonna be the entire week in P-Town for Women's Week, or are you just gonna be there like Thursday to Sunday, or how's that?
I think we get there on Tuesday, I believe.
Oh. And you do this every single year?
Pardon me?
Every single year you go to P-Town?
No, because you know what? I really like going to Women's Week, but it's really expensive.
It is not cheap.
It's hard to justify if I don't have a book to push. So I didn't go last year because I didn't have a new book out. Now that I have a new one out, I want to go and I want to push it and I want to do some readings and see if I can crank up some sales. So yeah, it tends to be every other year, I find. Mm-hmm. I love doing it. It costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's beautiful and the food is damn fine.
I love it.
The group is great, but holy crap, you just drop money like you're printing it in the basement.
I know. And I was just talking to some friends who were there like 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about their $14 cocktails that they had. And I'm like, oh my God.
I know, right? You could buy a bottle of hooch and, a 6-pack of Diet Coke for that, for God's sake.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, money is a factor. So.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. I mean, if that's your only vacation a year, live it up.
Right.
Us, we can space it out a little bit and make sure the money's right, and God forbid there's anything emergency come up.
Exactly.
That'll take a chunk right out.
All right. Well, there is a comment on the website, but I'm going to leave that alone because that'll be included in the next drawing. So, Ona Marie, you'll still be entered for a drawing to win, but not for this one because otherwise I'll get confused and there'll be a lot of problems and I just can't.
I think I met her in Portland. Hi, Ona Marie.
Yeah. I think her first con was last year in Dallas because she sat by us for the dinner from hell. You remember that, Andy? The dinner from hell.
I mean, who knew it took 2 hours to steam some vegetables? Just saying.
Oh, I do remember that dinner. I was not with you guys, but I remember you talking about it. Yeah,
that was awful.
It was terrible. Okay, there is somebody left a comment on the Google Plus page that says, I've never been disappointed with any of Georgia's books, and the fact that she's able to make transitioning from one style to the next look so effortless, even though she's secretly tearing her hair out. We'd never have known if she hadn't said how difficult it is, and that's a true testament to a very gifted writer.
Well,
I agree.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate that, really. Thank you. You've made my day.
It's true.
Yeah, you do make it look effortless.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's not.
Yeah, we've seen that video, GCLS, in
That's
Dallas.
It's hard to eat goldfish. Come on.
That was awesome. I love that video.
A lot of effort to dance around the room.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Nancy Jean says, bonus when you write about highly organized, uptight businesswomen who meet their love who is not. I know Nancy's really caught up in that book. Which one was that?
Too Close to Touch?
Yeah. I remember she really enjoyed that from the last time.
That's a favorite of a lot of people, and I think because it came out the same year that Fresh Tracks came out, it got a little bit overshadowed by that. But that's one of my favorites. I look back on the books that I've written, and that one I'm like, yeah, that one I wouldn't change a thing.
Which is your favorite?
Starting from Scratch.
Yay! Mine too.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's very good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about it. I've got close seconds, but that one's up there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I got nothing else. And the vodka, the vodka makes my brain numb. But I ran out of gin, so
Vodka on the show, Sherry.
Huh?
And George is about done with her Skinny Pirate.
Almost, not quite. I got as much left.
We're doing about the same. We're doing good. My glass is a 20-ouncer, but
I don't think mine's that big.
When you hear a thud and don't see Sherry anymore, you'll know why.
Show's over.
The party's over. Well, she's done.
I'll try not to hit the keyboard because when I disconnect, the show is over.
That's too funny.
All right. Well, you guys talk amongst yourselves because I have to make a list of all of the people who commented. So I'm gonna write now. Oh, did you see my new hat?
Yeah.
Look at my new hat.
The little sister hat. I almost wore mine. I'm kind of glad I didn't.
I know because you have the same one I do, and
I have the same hat.
Did you get that hat last week? Did you get the hat last week?
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah.
It was super fun. We got to see the highlight of the trip for me. I mean, outside of seeing people, was seeing the Space Shuttle Discovery and having Gooch drive our simulated plane into the ground from the heavens, not once but twice. And we're hanging upside down. We spent almost the entire simulation completely upside down. And she had gotten some dog tags, and they were flipping up and smashing her in the face. And she's like, "Oh my God, these hurt!" And we're dive bombing into the ground, and she's holding on to these dog tags in her hat, and she says, "It's not my fault. I'm not even touching the controls." I'm like, "Yes, that's why it's your fault. That is why it's your fault." That was great. Okay, Andy, now you talk.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So my favorite part of the trip was we went on, I want to say it was Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? We went to the zoo.
Ugh.
I think it was the zoo.
That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. That's right. It was the hottest, I think it was like one of the hottest days recorded in the National Zoo's history. It was so hot, the animals were just looking at you like, "Please throw a water balloon something," because we're just miserable. There's this one, we walked through the aviary, right, and there's this one bird laying there, and it just looked like the poor thing just collapsed. Like it fell over. And it's about this size of bird. I mean, it is not like a little, it's not like a little hummingbird. This thing is nice size.
Too hot to fly. Too hot to fly.
No, seriously, it just went limped right over, and its eyes were still open and it wasn't blinking, and I went, "Holy shit, the bird died!"
I know, we're walking up to it and we're like, "Oh my God, I think that bird is dead." And then we get up there. Go ahead, Andy.
And it has a sign that says, "This bird is not dead, it's sunning itself." I'm like, "Oh my God, that's just so wrong." That's so wrong.
But then in the next enclosure, there was a bunch of dead rats.
Ew.
For the vulture, they had dead white rats laying out on the rocks for the vultures to eat, right next to the not dead bird.
Yep. Yeah. That bird, he was the highlight, though.
That was, yes.
He was the highlight. He was the highlight. I had no idea that was coming. I mean, that was my second time at the National Zoo, and I'd not been through the area where the birds were. Right. And so I had no idea that was coming, so that was a really nice surprise. I thought it was a dead bird. I'm like, wow, times are tough, man. The birds are keeling over. Jesus. It was fun, though. It was a really good time. It was good. Yeah.
All right.
It'd been a little fun if you'd have been there, though.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I know. I got to get down there. Definitely.
Yeah, but let's, if we all do this again, let's not do it in the summer.
No.
Let's do
fall. What's the matter with you people?
Fall or spring. Let's do that.
There you go. Last time I was in D.C., it was the weekend after 9/11.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we had a trip planned, so we went anyway. Everything was closed. We saw nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I need to go back.
D.C. the first time. Holy crap.
All right. Are we ready?
Maybe get ready.
I got people. Okay. You know what? I'll put Ona Marie in here, and I'll just remember that you were already entered. Okay. So I didn't put Spangler in there because,
she understands.
Yeah. She's not eligible. She's not eligible to win because she can just walk down the road and get a copy.
She could. That's true.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 folks. So I can either do the random number generator, or we can put Georgia Beers on the spot. Let me make sure I don't have any other.
Let's put Georgia Beers on the spot. She is the celebrity of the evening.
Oh wait, there's more. Hold on, there's more.
People are commenting, wait a minute, did you count me in? Did you count me in?
Adrian said the moonshine's gone. And you're still standing or sitting?
And I'm sad for her.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think things are misspelled there. Yeah. Never mind. We're going to be done with you, Adrian. All right. Cheryl Hansen, I want to thank you for starting from scratch. It is my go-to feel better or feel good book. I read it at least once every 6 months. When anyone asks who to read, your books are always one of the top 3.
Thank you, Cheryl. I so appreciate that. That makes me happy.
Absolutely, wow.
I agree. I mean, there are like a handful. There are a lot of folks that put out like one book or one good book, and then there are like a handful of folks that you can always count on. Even even the books that you feel are their least good are still very worth a second or third or fourth read, you know,
Yep.
and you're definitely in that group, Georgia, absolutely. So please stop doing interviews, stop talking to people and going places, just stay home and write.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Whenever anybody says, "Are you going?" No, Sherry says I need to stay home and just write. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody knows I got a lot of sway. So, okay. Ona Marie says, hey, I figured it out. Hello, all.
Good job, Ona Marie.
Excellent. Rachel's bragging that she already has a signed copy. Let's see. Oh, Ona Marie comes back and says, I came in late. Did somebody already ask how long writing the book took, getting and developing the ideas versus writing and editing the manuscript?
That book took a long time. I just think because it was so different. I would say it probably took the better part of a year, which is a long time for me. I'm usually 6 to 8 months and I've got it down. That one took the better part of a year and then editing. It was tough. It was tough. I'm glad that it's being so well received because it was really not an easy job. But I guess, you work hard and this is what happens.
I think it shows. I thought it was very well done. Very well done.
Yeah. Worth every minute you spent. Every minute.
God, I hope so.
All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not missing anybody else who's commenting in other places. All right. I'm gonna check.
How many places are there to comment?
We've got folks commenting on the website. Doesn't appear that anybody's commenting on Facebook, so that's good. And then on the Google Plus page, and then here.
Wow.
So they are.
The social media exploded.
That's right. Which is why I get really nervous before we record, because I have to make sure that all these things are covered. Okay, so we're going to go with that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that what I said before? Yeah, 9. Okay, so Georgia, you have no idea how I've written these names down. I've moved them around.
No clue.
So pick a number between 1 and 9, and we'll give away a book.
2.
B. Wells, who wanted to know what we were drinking.
Yay!
Congratulations. So if you will send your email information to info@cocktailhour.us, we will forward that over to Georgia, and then you guys can make arrangements.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody else who's missed the live show or who didn't feel comfortable commenting, you still have a chance to win. Just go over to cocktailhour.us and leave a comment letting us know what your favorite sandwich is, and leave that comment no later than August 8th, and then we will pick the winner on the 9th. Okay?
Perfect. And for those new folks to the show, wait until we posted this show to pick your comment. I'm kidding.
You can post your comment right now.
Right this minute,
if you like. Right now. So I want to thank everybody that showed up and participated. It was a great show for participation. Georgia, you're wonderful as always. Always a pleasure to speak with.
I love being here. Love it.
We're not worthy. You
are.
All right, cool. And I might see you in P-Town. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I might see you in
All
P-Town.
right. I'll look for you.
All right, cool.
And I think you're involved in the Ridicule Fest. That will be the next, or the August Flicks and Swizzle Sticks to pick on all of the movies that I've not seen.
Oh, that
And
could be. That could
yeah,
be.
I didn't see a lot of movies in the '80s, and I believe that.
Oh, Sherry. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. Yes, hang your head.
Oh my God. All right, well, that's time, you guys. So thank everybody for participating. Thank you, Georgia, for coming on again. You are a fantastic guest.
Always.
Anytime you want to come on, you just let us know.
You got it.
All right, fantastic. Sherry, thank you for being you as always and taking care of the tech stuff and, being out there on the forefront and just being you.
Oh, thanks.
Even if I didn't get my banana bread, just saying.
All right, then. I'm clicking the button. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.